If you own a business or you're a business owner, self-employed, gig worker, okay, any miles you put on your car for business use are a tax deduction to you when you file your tax return. And for some of you out there, I know it feels like you probably spend more time in your car, driving around than you do actually doing your job some days, right? So today we're going to talk about tracking those miles that you're putting on your car or your vehicle for business use and how to turn those into a tax deduction. So regardless of how much you truly do drive around in your business, it is imperative that you track that mileage, all right? Because, like I said, you might live in your car and be driving around town and that mileage will really, really add up. Or you can be on the other side of the spectrum and you can be like many of my clients who come to me and say, I don't drive that much for business. It's probably not worth it to track my mileage. But you would be surprised, even those people can save hundreds of dollars on their tax return just by tracking their business mileage. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to do that. Okay, how do we go about tracking our business mileage? And there are two parts to this. All right, you got to track your total mileage for the year, and you have to track the actual business mileage for the year. So let's break that down right now. So I'm going to start with tracking your total mileage because that's the easiest. First, I want to tell you why. Okay, why do you have to track your total mileage if you're only taking business mileage deduction? And that's because in one of the methods, you have to be able to know what percentage of your car you used for business use. And you do that by taking your business mileage, which we'll track in a minute, and you divide it by your total miles driven on your car. So that is why you need to track your total miles driven. And there are a couple different methods you can use for this, but I'm going to give you one because it's super easy and it's the best way to do this, okay, you guys? And that is to take a picture of your odometer as close to the first of the year as you can every single year. All right? So you missed last year, but let's rewind. Let's say it's January 1st, okay? And you're going to snip a little shot of your odometer because then you're going to know what your mileage is. And then next year, fast forward to December 31st of 2021 or January 1st of 2022, whatever you want, you're going to take your mileage, you're going to take a picture of your odometer again. And then by looking at those two pictures, boom, take one, subtract the other, you got your total mileage for the year. All right? Easiest way to do that. So now for the tricky part, tracking your actual business mileage, okay? And this is the part that people get really hung up on because it seems like it might be a chore or you forget to do it or it's too hard to do. But I'm going to give you a few different methods and hopefully one of these resonates with you and you're like, that's for me, I can do this. All right. But before we get into those methods, I want to make sure you're clear on the criteria, the things you need to track despite whichever method you choose. All right. There are 4 things you always have to make sure you are tracking. So the 4 things, the first one is date and time. When did you go wherever you went? Okay. The second one is your miles driven, right? How many miles did you drive on that trip? The third one is where did you go from and where did you go to? All right. So your origin and your destination, I guess. And then the last piece, and this is the part that people kind of get hung up on, are the details of who you met and why. All right. It doesn't have to be a book. Okay. So my log looks something like, my description will say, John Smith, potential client, dinner. That's it. Okay. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. The method for tracking your business mileage, the one you pick, is going to depend on what kind of person you are. Okay. Are you a pencil and paper person? Are you a spreadsheet person? Are you an app person? All right. So whichever type of person you are, that's the method I want you to pick and I want you to stick to. All right. So I'm going to start with my paper and pencil people. So I have 2 options for you guys as my paper and pencil people. My first is to get a cute little notebook. It can be something as little as this, okay, and stick it in your car, all right, and use that with a pen, cute pen. Use colored pens, right? That's me. Colored pens are my jam. If I were a pen and paper person or a pencil and paper person, I would have a cute notebook that had a cute design or a quote on it. I would have a colored pencil, probably green or purple. Those are my favorite. It wouldn't be a pencil, it'd be an erasable pen. If you don't know about those, your life is not complete. And I would put it in my little console, okay? And that's where I would keep it. And at the very top of the first page, I would have all of those criteria I need, all right? Date, time, where I left, where I'm going, why I'm going, all right? And then you get in the habit of when you get in your car to go on a business trip, you fill out that sheet. Another option is we have actually a PDF tracker. A PDF version of our mileage tracker is available in the description. You can download this, download a couple copies of it, and fold it up and stick it in your console with a pretty erasable pen. And you can use that to track your mileage if you are, again, a pen and paper person. Next, for my spreadsheet people, we actually have a business mileage spreadsheet. It's free, again, in the description, that you can download, and you can use this to track your mileage. At the top, it has all of the information we just talked about, and it actually, you put your odometer reading in and it calculates all your mileage for you. I have mine on my phone just because I do drive a little bit for work, and I like the spreadsheets. They're just my jam. So I use that. It's in Google. For me, it's in Google Sheets, which I can bring up on my Google Drive, on my phone, super easy. So finally, let's talk about my app people out there. And I think that's a lot of you. All right, there are dozens of apps you can choose from and that have free versions that you can try. And I mean, so many choices out there, you guys. What I recommend to my clients, what my husband uses, is called Mile IQ. And I'll tell you why I like it, but I'm guessing most of the apps out there have these same functions. All right, so first, when you use an app, you guys, turn on the GPS and the push notifications. So if you're like me, you turn all that off for all of the apps on your phone, but for this one, keep them on, because the GPS is gonna be what tracks your mileage and your destinations, right? Two of our things. Because you're using the app, it's automatically gonna timestamp it. So there's our third thing. And most of these apps, Mile IQ for sure, has a note section where you put your reason for going where you're going, right? So again, business dinner with potential client John Smith, right? And if you turn on your push notifications, you guys, this is my favorite part, all right? Turn on your push notifications. When you're in the app, when you first set up the app, you're gonna enter your home address. Then every time you come home, it's gonna send you a push notification saying you went all of these different places, all right? And then it's like a Tinder. It's like, is that what it is? Swipe left, swipe right. You're gonna swipe one direction for business, one direction for personal. And then that app is going to track everything for you. All of your business, it's gonna track all of your business driving, all right? And at the end of the year, it pulls up a report and a summary that you either put into your tax return or hand to your tax preparer. Super easy, my favorite method out there. So in our tech-driven world and society that we live in today, these apps are great, and they are the one I recommend the most to my clients. But you guys, pick the method that is going to work best for you. All right? If you don't want your push notifications and you don't use your apps for that, then don't choose the app. Download our spreadsheet or download our PDF, but use the method that you're going to stick to. All right, so pick the one that resonates with you, the one you're gonna stick with, all right, because that's how you're gonna be successful with this. If you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, go ahead and leave a comment below. And then I highly, highly suggest you head on over to our Facebook community, Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Business, because these topics are what we talk about on a regular basis and have live trainings on every week. You can access that group by clicking the link in the description box. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and while you're loving on me hard, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future video.